競合相手には、シリアンを指すっていうケースが多いんですよね。
そうですよ
えっ
ね。はい。
なので、私とかも、多分ナイト C6 よりはシリアンを刺された回数の方が、ひょっとすると倍ぐらい多いんじゃないかなって気がしますね。
じゃあ、
はい。
ガチの、
はい。
こう、一番のメインウェポンが、まあ、本気出すとき用っていう感じですかね。
そうですね。やっぱり研究を特に深くするのは当然なんですけれど、
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Oops, I had the music off. Whoops. I forgot I had the music turned off. Hey, how you doing? And I've had some awesome music playing too. Really jamming out doing these puzzles. No noise. Yeah, Atomic Bomb Tendo. How you doing? Well, I mean, now there's noise because you're here. Jeez. Why are you so loud? Atomic Bomb Tendo. You're so annoying. How you doing? We're having a fun evening. We're kind of having like a little, not like a party, but like, it's kind of party time. It's the weekend. I got no class on Monday. Not that like, see, I'm very disciplined, but sometimes I'm too disciplined. You know what I mean? So I'm having like an energy drink and I had some Cheetos. And that's about the extent of my partying. It's okay, don't worry, my sleep schedule won't get fucked. It kinda will, but not really. Just for the weekend. I mean, usually, see, it's like, I have a class, but it's like a health class. So, you know, I'm doing my yoga every day, regardless. And I kind of need to take it easy anyway, because the last class we had, we've really just like massaged a bunch of muscles that really work them, almost like a deep tissue. The chest pieces. I know you like them. I really like the variant of chest pieces. It's really simple. You just turn them upside down. But it kind of makes it kind of adds like a new element. Like it makes the pawns really kind of cool. They almost look like little soldiers. All right, ready for the rapid. Tomorrow cricket match? You know, so many people. Why? Because I want to. Because. Okay, here's the deal. Here's where I got it from. So there's this like. I could get my cam out and show you, but I don't really want to get cam out right now. I'm not wearing a bra. And I'm kind of degen right now. Kind of just nighttime chest grinding. That's basically the theme of my stream for like the next year. Not really. I mean, obviously I get energy where I kind of want to do cam and stuff, but most of the time, not really. I want to play the French more often. Are we gonna have exchange or advance? Or we're gonna have an exchange. So, okay, I'm pretty sure I either want to develop a knight or I want to push c6. I'm getting development is good. But I also think making sure that I maintain a strong center. I think c6 will be good. And then knight f6. Probably bishop, probably castle, probably knight. Okay, so we're gonna have a closed queenside. So there's like a little, I've shown it before on stream, but I have like a little, basically a checkbook that's like a chessboard. Like a little chessbook, a little checkbook sized. I mean, maybe if you're giving check, it's a checkbook. Ha ha ha, chess humor. No, there's a little checkbook-sized chessboard I have. And if you're playing the white pieces, usually you look at the pieces right side up. But if you want to look at black side of the board, you'd have to flip it and then flip every single piece, which takes a while. So what I would do is when I would play my friend, I would, what we do, one time at a party, we were getting drunk and like smoking weed and stuff. And what we would do throughout the party was we would have the chess set in our pocket, and we would kind of like hand it to him, and then he would make his move, and then he would hand it to me when it was my move. And we would just hand the chessboard back and forth throughout the night. But the thing is in order to look at the black pieces, I'd have to look at it upside down. And I just realized, like, wait a minute, it's not upside down. It's only we think it's upside down. It's actually not upside down. The pieces are not upside down. Do you understand? I started a writing schedule again. I'm still working on some nonfiction writing. Mostly journaling for therapy right now. And I'm starting to get a lot more narrow focused, which is good. I'm starting to get more organized and writing outlines about like what I want to talk about. And then what I want to start doing is I want to start moving in towards article writing again, like blog, for my blog. I have a bunch of articles drafted, but I have a problem publishing. For some reason, I can stream for like 8-hour times sometimes and just talk and talk and talk and talk. But when it comes to actually like writing, I have like this perfectionism, which is really kind of messed up. Like I have this huge perfectionism when it comes to my writing. Even though I write and write and write on like Discord and stuff like that, or social media, for some reason when it comes to actually like publishing something, I have this like huge like it needs to be like super high quality like but that's ridiculous. I need to just like, even my draft writing is like better quality than the vast majority of people out there writing. And I'm not saying this to be egotistical, it's just a fact. I have a superhuman ability to write English language. I need to make use of that. Because even my half-assed first drafts are like better than 90% of people's like edited content. Now that doesn't mean much in the professional world, or maybe it does. I don't know. Well, see, this is where, do you see where the perfectionism comes from? I keep feeling like there's this arbitrary standard of like, oh, I can't publish this because, it's not good quality. But it is good quality. Like, what is wrong with me? Okay, the light squares. I think this is actually going to be better. If you trade, I'd get the knight forward. And then I can put the queen here and I can threaten checkmate. My writing's posted somewhere. I don't... See, that's the thing. I don't normally publish my writing. I'll publish, like... Oh, see, that's going to permanently weaken the king. So, well, if I trade, though, it gets the queen activated. But where's the queen gonna go? Yeah, I think just doing that. White just permanently weakened her king. But yeah, that's the thing, is like, I don't normally, I do have a blog. And ironically, my first blog article on this website was literally about just publishing anyway. Oh, ironically, I mean, interestingly enough, this is like a stock footage. This is like a stock photo, but I have that exact pen, or maybe a pen that looks like that at least. And this is just like some half-assed attempts at like, this was a response to a video article, like a news article about a man who was brutally beaten because he was told he had to use the women's restroom because he's trans. And then he went into the women's restroom and everybody assumed everyone correctly assumed that he's a man. And so like he got beaten by the people he like got beaten by people, like harassed, like intimidated. Like people just gang up on him because they thought that he was a trans woman going into the women's restroom, because they're like, oh, this is a woman's restroom. Why are you in the And it's like, that's like, honestly, that's so fucked up how transphobia affects people, because this was a trans man. You know, what people would say a biological female, or whatever people would say. This person was told to use the women's restroom because he was assigned female at birth. Even though he obviously is a man. No, I don't get paid for anything. I just write because I'm trying to get my writing out there. You kind of have to be, in order to get sponsored, you have to be well known. So I'm not writing for money right now. I'm not creating content for money right now. I'm creating content, and content includes all sources. I'm creating content to get my name out there. Because if you don't have your name out there, you're not going to make any money. So that if you don't have name recognition, you shouldn't even be thinking about monetization at all. Your number one job when your name is unknown is to get your name to be known. And so that's kind of what I've been working on the past. Okay, so if you en passant, I activate the rook. I need to play quicker. Okay, that also activates the rook. And it closes the queen side from white's queen. Okay, that's... Okay, get lined up with the king. You know that song? That's what it sounds like, right? The chord progression. It was in a different key, obviously, but still. I temporarily blundered this pawn. White didn't see it. Okay, and then I can stack rooks, possibly. What titles do you want to have? I don't know. I don't really care about titles. I just want to have a good life. I do think that you need to kind of focus on like one or two things. And I think adult actress is one that's probably likely to occur as far as what I'm known for. I think another one is like a writer. Actress or voice actress or adult actress or chess enthusiast or possibly even a chess player, if I can get opportunities to actually play, which I need money for, and the ability to travel. So that's why I need money. I'm really looking for quality of life. I'm not really looking for some kind of social status. I don't really care about that kind of stuff. I just want a good quality of life. I want good social relationships. I want opportunities to get outside of the house and outside of this boring world that exists when you don't have any money, where you just are just trying to survive and you're not able to thrive. I know that rhymes. This is a fucked situation. Because you're attacking the pawn, and I have no way to defend the rook. I have to move. I have to double back. I think what you do for money doesn't have to be who you are as a person. I'm Rebecca Lauren. She, her pronouns. I'm a strong and beautiful woman. That's who I am. Okay, like, anything else in life is fluff. I mean, maybe I can get started in the industry as a fluffer. I mean, that would be pretty cool. I really like sucking dick. I have, but ironically, I don't really get the opportunity to. I know people like to think that, like, people have this obsession with aesthetics. They're like, oh, how do you want people to perceive you? And I think that's, in general, I know people are, trying to be realistic in life. And they say, oh, well, that's not how the world works. And people are going to judge you this way. People are going to see you this way. But I saw that as a problem very early in life. And change doesn't happen by being complacent. And I know it's it's a very seemingly impossible task to try to change the world. But you have to start somewhere, and you have to be the change. And I saw at a very early age that the world is really fucked up. Oops, there's a bishop. I did the wrong combo. This is gonna end really quickly. There we go. Oh, what didn't I... Oh. Okay. Okay, I really think that there's a problem in the world where people have this obsession with aesthetics. Where if you are one thing, that you have to be this thing everywhere you go in life. That if you do OnlyFans, that you have to, you have to look a certain way even when you're not working. That you have to wear designer Gucci clothes. That you have to act like a slut. That you have to, there's this obsession. Or that if you're a writer, you have to walk around with some kind of sticker on your bag. Or if you're a chess player, you always have to be talking about chess. You always have to be there's this obsession with aesthetics. But like, why can't I be like a professional person who has a life outside of that profession? Why do I have to be defined by what I do for money? You know, like doing OnlyFans, etc., doing porn. That doesn't make you a slut. You mean you might be a slut, but there's a separation. Those are two separate things. And I think there's a judgment attached to it as well. That's also a different problem. But even without the judgment, nobody should tell you how you're supposed to live your life on your free time. That if you enjoy doing something for work that brings you a lot of happiness, that doesn't mean that's who you are outside of your work. I'm very reserved as a person, especially I've only been with 4 sexual partners. And even once I get started in the industry, I'm probably not going to really change that. I'm probably going to get most of my sexual needs met through work, honestly. Because I can take care of myself that way. I don't need anyone else. I would like to have someone else, but that's something that you can't really control. And it's not something that you should really pursue just for the sake of not being lonely. Because I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in my own life, and I've seen it happen in other people. If you chase after people just for sex, it destroys your life. Like, you invite people that you would never normally have in your life. Just because you want to get laid. And I'm like, why don't we just, like, cut the pretense? And just, you know, I have a need for performative sex as well. So that's why it's a perfect matchup for me. But it's very important to me that I do so carefully and professionally. That's very important to me. Not just for safety, but also for, well, I mean, mostly for safety. But there's other reasons too. Like, I'm not very good with relationships.
The last Metroid is in captivity. The galaxy is at peace.
Oops. But I really think it's very important to focus on a very small amount of things in life, because it takes so much time and effort just to get started somewhere. That you can't possibly achieve anything, and we're not just talking about financially. You can't really achieve anything if you're spreading yourself too thin. For example, with chess. If you're trying to be a chess player, but you're also trying to be a League of Legends player, and you're also trying to be a Counter-Strike player, and you're also trying to be, you know, ... You're not going to achieve any kind of, like, skill to, like, at least, you know, like if you're trying to be a professional player, for example, to be able to compete with very strong people. We're not talking about money. When we say career, we're talking about the thing itself. And I think that's where the future is heading with our economy, with the revolution of the economy on this planet. Because automation is going to take away jobs. We need to completely revolutionize the way we see the economy. And I feel like we need to deal with scarcity. Because if we don't deal with scarcity, then resources are going to be really difficult to divide. But if AI and robots, automation, all that kind of stuff will remove scarcity, especially with advancements in space operations, such as creating factories in space that greatly reduces global warming, etc. If we can do stuff like that, then scarcity will be solved. And the only thing that's left is this like moral and political battle that this planet seems to be stuck on, where people have this moral this moral objection to people not working. And that needs to change, because it's going to be a reality where people are not going to be able to compete with automation. And when we change our way of thinking to that, when that ridiculously impossible goal is met, then we need to start thinking about, okay, so a career is not about money. A career is about advancement in the thing. And as far as chess career goes, you could use your win percentage as a career, like, you know, getting higher rating, for example. I think games and sports and stuff are a really good example of how this could be used. Some things aren't as quantifiable, such as like music careers. However, there's a difference between an elementary school or high school band and a professional level orchestra. And you can tell with your ears. And some people like to say, oh, you know, it's art. It doesn't really matter about how you play. And yes, it absolutely fucking does. If you play out of tune, if you play with bad tone, you can tell the difference between a professional quality orchestra and an amateur quality orchestra. People don't want to admit it because they have this attachment to art. But if you don't have the technical skill to perform that art, then you're not going to be able to express yourself as deeply as is required to truly express what the human condition needs. So if you want to be a good artist, you have to have the skill. And if you divide your attention across many things, you're not going to be able to devote the amount of time and effort required to obtain that skill. And that depends on what the individual wants. It has nothing to do with what other people want. If you want to enjoy your life, you don't need to be a grandmaster at chess to enjoy chess. But if your goal is to be as strong at chess as possible, there's a path for that. And it's already been proven, technically, age doesn't matter. Besides your physical health, which also medical advancements is changing. The medical advancements in our society will get to the point where we won't have people who are infirm as they age at some point. Where they might even reverse aging in my lifetime. So we need to start thinking about, as a society, as a human species, we need to start thinking about how we can deal with that. How are we going to live our lives differently if we don't have to worry about medical infirmary, or aging? If we don't have to worry about working for a living, if we don't have to worry about any of those things, how are we going to have a happy life? Because if your goal is not to make money, then what is your goal? If your goal is to start a family, then there's a path towards that, if that brings you happiness. But you can't make that happen, because that's a different kind of thing than and also there's even things like chess, there are limitations towards your goals. And if you make your goals, I want to be a grandmaster in 5 years, that's an unachievable goal. You might achieve it, but it's a non-function, it's a non-actionable goal. And what do I mean by non-actionable goal? Let me set a marker. Non-actionable goals. Unrecognized command marker. Okay, here we go. Slash. Okay, it's slash marker, not dot marker. Where do I see myself in 5 years? See, that's the thing. I don't really see myself anywhere. I see myself as being me and achieving my. And this is what I mean by actionables, actionable goals. A non-actionable goal is setting a goal such as a title, or setting your goal such as like a job position, or setting your goal as, you know, something else. Because if you don't have the path towards that, then you can't set that as a goal. And even if you do have a path towards it, some goals can't be achieved by your efforts alone. It requires other factors. For example, becoming a grandmaster. If somebody sets a 5-year goal to become a grandmaster, they're like rated 2000 or something like that. That's a non-actionable goal, because it depends on how you perform and how many tournaments. You can control how many tournaments you go to, but you can't control whether or not you perform well in those tournaments. You can do your best, but your opponent might just be better than you. You can't control that. And if you did, that would be manipulating the system, because that's unfair. You know, to manipulate who you play against and stuff like that. That's like manipulating the system. I think maybe advancing too early was the mistake. I think I needed to go after this pawn. Oh no, I wait. Yeah, I think just I think this was just a mistake here. Maybe I should have played here. Takes, and then move the rook. Maybe get the queen in. Figure out what to do with the bishop. Maybe trade off bishop. It looks like white's bishop is white's dark squared bishop is way better than mine. How the queen has to get over to the king side somehow, so that might be a good start, is to just start try to trade off the bishop. White doesn't have to trade. If black starts the trade, queen takes. Maybe just start threaten the knight. But then I can just challenge the. Oh, you can't challenge the queen. Never mind. Yeah, I don't know. Hypothetical lines. Yeah, there was a problem here when I tried to protect the pawn too much. I think I should have just abandoned the pawn. And I think still the plan of trying to trade off the bishops. And I can just abandon the pawn. And that defends the knight. Then you can start going after the... That gets rid of the knight on the king side to stop the attack. If I want to move the knight, I'd have to try to trade off. Because now the queen is no longer attacking, it's no longer pinned, so I'd be able to do something with the knight. Hey, Claudius. So I think this whole, like, obviously having a 5-year plan should not be focused on achieving some kind of title, or I'm not just talking about chess. I'm talking about any kind of goal, such as a professional goal in any direction. There's infinite designs for the chess pieces. The ones I made can be used with stylish. There are on Stylish, there are people who've made their own chess pieces. Chess and chess.com has some pre-made piece sets. There's infinite numbers of piece sets because chess is a symbolic it's represented by symbolic ideas. And so all these pieces are just symbolic pieces. They don't actually exist. They're ideas, and you can play blindfolded. And for that reason, it's not that these pieces don't literally exist. They exist as ideas. Like they have rules to how they move, and they have, there's rules to chess, and there's rules to how the playing field works. So like when the pieces move, the pawn can move 2 forward on the first move, or they can move 1 forward afterwards, or on the first move as well. There's an en passant rule, etc. They capture diagonally, but one next to them, adjacent. The king, if you attack the king, it's in check and it has to move. Like, they're all theoretical, hypothetical pieces. Yeah, let's play a match, Claudia. Send me a challenge. Rebecca Lauren on Lead Chess. So therefore, it doesn't matter how you represent these pieces, as long as you understand the differences between them. In fact, you could actually represent the king as the queen piece. You could represent the bishop as the knight piece. You could represent the knight as the rook piece. You can represent the rook as a knight piece, as long as you define that piece to be a rook that moves this way and captures this way. As long as you define that piece as doing that, it doesn't matter what it looks like. It could be invisible. In fact, if I turn off the extension, if I turn off the extension, 1 second, I'll get to that. Oops, that's not it. If I turn off the extension, I could actually make the pieces completely. These aren't invisible. But like I can make the pieces mean nothing. They still move the same. That's why you move this knight. Like, this still exists. It still exists no matter. Yeah, 3 + 2 is fine. This still exists even though you represent them as different pieces. It doesn't matter how the pieces look. So as long as you represent them somehow, it doesn't really matter. And that's basically like how chess works. It's a hypothetical game. It doesn't actually exist. It's just a theoretical representation made by pieces that have rules to them. Oh, and we're gonna do a Sicilian. We have a early fianchetto. So like when I'm talking about like non-actionable goals, things such as I want to achieve management position within upper management position in 5 years. You can pursue that. But the thing is you can't actually make that happen through your efforts alone. It relies on other people. And so anything that relies on other people, you can't expect to happen through your sheer effort alone. Because it's not about what you want. It's about what you can do. And so you make an actionable goal of putting yourself in a position where that's more likely to occur. So that means my goal is to put myself into a position where I'm going to be more likely to succeed in that goal. Which is it's the same, it's functionally the same thing, but it's the mindset that's different. Because it's something that you can actually control. I don't like this. Okay, this is fine. If the knight took first, it would have been worse. You know, like you could say, I want to achieve the title of International Master or Grandmaster in 5 years. Well, that's not an actionable goal. An actionable goal is I want to play 10 tournaments a year, FIDE rated, for the next 5 years. Or something like something like that. Or, like 30 tournaments a year or something like that. Right? I mean, if you're crazy, maybe 4 tournaments a month. Maybe even 10 tournaments a month, depending on your location. But then that becomes, I want to get myself to a place where I can achieve that goal. Because that requires a certain number of things to be in place. You need to be at a physical location where you're going to be able to realistically play that many tournaments. There's not that many places on this earth that have that many tournaments. So unfortunately for me, I have very, very, very few opportunities. In fact, I have 0 opportunities to play chess tournaments. But my goal over the next 5 years is to achieve a level of financial success where that can become a reality. I don't know how exactly that's going to work out. That's why I'm so stressed out most of the time, because I feel scared. I feel like I can't achieve my goals in life. I feel very upset about it. And that's where that's where a lot of the things that upset me come from. That I have a lot of things that I want to do that I'm unable to achieve, and I have absolutely no idea if I can even make it happen. I just want to be able to live a life where I can do the things that make me happy. Like play chess. But unfortunately, chess is gatekept in a way that if you don't make enough money, you can't even participate. And that's messed up, because chess is literally just a game represented by pieces. It shouldn't cost that much money to play. But it does. And there's also very little interest in my area, so I have to be able to figure out how to move myself to a new physical location where I can play chess a lot more regularly. Like go to a chess club. There's no real chess club interest where I live. In fact, I'm the one who's likely to make that happen. And that's kind of scary, but it's also kind of empowering. That when I went to my college with a chessboard, I literally summoned chess. That there was literally nobody else with a chessboard on campus. And I summoned the chess players. And I've summoned a few people that showed up. And if I keep showing up with a chessboard, there's going to be more people that realize that there's chess on campus. And we might start a chess club. So that's how it starts, but like, I have I don't know if that's really going to work out. So that's not an actionable goal. An actionable goal is I want to bring my chessboard to campus on a regular basis, like maybe 2 or 3 times a week. That's something that can actually be done. And your goals are more likely to happen if you do things that way. Because you can't, it's just like when people say, "Oh, I want to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend." You can't actually make that happen. You can't control if somebody is attracted to you. There are people who are attracted to you. I bet you 100% of the time there is somebody out there that is attracted to you. It doesn't matter what you think that you look like. There is somebody out there who is attracted to you. Oh no. Yeah, this pin. Yikes. So yeah, like I know that like thinking about things in a certain way is what's going to help me take the steps required to get my life to where I want it to be. And I have been making those steps. In fact, I have been stressing out so much and criticizing myself so much that my therapists, everybody on my medical team, has had to like constantly like remind me of the success I've been having in my life. Because I don't see it as success, even though just because I haven't had financial success. But I can't pursue financial success right now. I have to pursue medical success first. And in fact, I'm in a very lucky position where I don't have to save up money to get a life-saving surgery. Where in the past, and still in today's world even, there are people who have to spend like tens of thousands of dollars to get the treatment I've been getting. So in a way, I transferred my financial success into medical success. Where maybe I could see these past 4 years I haven't really been earning money, but that money would have been spent on my medical issues anyway. So in a way, I've basically been like very successful because I like instead, if I had to have paid for everything like in my medical needs, I wouldn't have had them met at all. I would be miserable. I probably wouldn't have made it. For the first time in my life, I have hope. I have hope that I can have a life worth living. Where I didn't have that before. And now I can't ever see myself giving up hope anymore. Because now it's so close. There's so many things happening. I have proof of concept that I can't see myself wanting to give up anymore. And that's something that I didn't have before. Yikes. But yeah, like basically, I have a 5-year plan. I have absolutely no idea how that plan's gonna play out, but I have an idea of what I need to do. First of all, I'm finishing up my medical plan of this surgery's happening in a few months. And it's going to require at least 3 months of physical recovery before I can even think about getting myself started to pursue my plan. And I have other things going on during that time. So I have some, getting myself back. I'm already back into the college, taking a fitness class. And I want to continue with the dance program and get started on the theater arts program as soon as it's possible. In addition to that, I want to talk to a counselor. That's the first step of the plan. Talk to a counselor about a certificate program in accounting and business marketing. So I can start working on a certificate program. Next summer. Basically, probably around next summer, I can probably start pursuing my career goals around the adult industry. And I'm really scared about that because I have no idea what to do. Besides, like, I mean, I know what to do, but I want to do so safely. I don't have anybody representing me. I don't have an agent. I don't have anybody to, like, make sure that I'm successful. Except for myself, and that's scary. Because I need to get myself to I need to be able to get myself to near LA, or at least be able to travel to LA easily. And I don't know how to make that happen. So I'm pretty scared because I need to get to LA because that's where all the opportunities are. That's where all the studios are. And the studios are protected with legal protections and such. I have absolutely no idea how to make it happen, but I know what I want. So the goal isn't to enact a plan, it's to create a plan and then enact the plan. But the plan doesn't really matter. I mean, the specifics don't particularly matter. The goal is what matters. Because I know what I want. I'm gonna get it. And it might be really tough at first, but I'm looking for longevity. I'm not looking for quick, this isn't like some get rich quick thing. That doesn't exist. I'm looking for long-term success. And if you think in long-term ways, you achieve success in your long-term goals. But I'm pretty scared because I'm like this autistic person who can barely even like take care of basic things. And so that's why it feels so impossible. But I'm not going to give up hope because I don't want to just give up on the things I want in life just because it seems impossible. Other people have been able to make it happen in the adult industry. There's absolutely no reason why I shouldn't be able to. There is literally no reason why I can't succeed. And there's every reason to believe I can succeed. Just based on my own efforts alone. Like, just based on my own success so far. Where even on my own, I made a few $1,000s. Not many people can say that. Like, I made a few $1,000s out of like maybe like, I would say like a month of work. Maybe like 2 months of work over the past 2 years. Not many people can say that. I know it sounds like really, oh fuck. I know it sounds like really, god damn it. I know it sounds like really. I hate Blitz. I absolutely hate that. It's such a fucking ridiculous time control that everybody expects you to be able to play, but you can't play Blitz if you can't play slow. It's so frustrating. Because you just make mistake after mistake after mistake. I have role models in the industry. There's women of my body type, and there's women of, like such as like Natalie Mars, for example. She's naturally breasted like me, and she's successful. In fact, she's very successful. She's like a porn star. And there's like some other porn stars. I don't know other. I mean I know that I know them from their videos, but I don't know all their names off the top of my head. I've seen pretty much every single trans porn star in the industry, which is why I know that I'm going to be successful, because there is a serious need for more talent in the industry for trans models. Now I'm going to be post-op, so that does change things. I won't be in, I'm going to be competing with even less women, but also I'm also going to be competing with more women, because I'm going to have a vulva and vagina, which is significantly more competition. But compared to other trans models, I think that's significantly less competition, because there's a lot fewer openly trans. For all we know, there's some people who are stealth, who are in the industry, who are actually transgender with vaginas, for all we know. But I do know that the pool of competition for trans models who have been post-op is significantly less. However, I don't think that's really something that's a deterrent for me, because obviously my surgery isn't a professional decision. It's a personal decision based on medical needs. I don't know. Natalie Mars, is she transition at 30? I don't know. I mean, I transitioned at 31. Honestly, like, everybody has a different type. And so it doesn't matter what you think. There's like this like delusion that people have, where they think that they're not attractive enough to make it in the industry. But the thing is that people have extremely varied tastes in sexual in sexual attraction. People have very, very, very varied tastes. And especially if you're considered conventionally attractive, which I am, you're gonna do just fine. So the things that are stopping me aren't those kind of things. The things that are stopping me are lack of resources, and I don't know how to find those resources right now. And I can't, because I'm literally like a couple months away from a very life-changing surgery. So there's literally nothing I can do right now to advance my career besides research. I can research though, so that's something. But it's really overwhelming, and I'm actually really scared. Yeah, she's 39, yeah, and she's still successful. She has like her own website. She has like an active OnlyFans from last time I checked. And I have no idea. You'd have to ask her. But But it doesn't really matter, because even if it doesn't matter to me. I know what I want, and I'm going to go get it. I don't care if it seems impossible. I don't care anything about that. Because I know what I want. I'm going to do whatever possible to get it. And literally, I don't care who I have to fuck to get there. Literally. I mean, I do. You know, I don't want to get a disease. You know, like... But, like, you know, like, that's... You know, like, you use protection. And, you know, there's a thing called star testing, where you make sure that you have, you know, only work with people who are documented to not have a transmittable disease. And you still use protection, because you never know if people are lying somehow. That's fraud. They can, like, be sued for that or whatever. But I don't want to, you know, I've worked so hard to get my surgery. I don't want to fuck it up with some kind of disease. But that's what, you know, protection is for. And it's pretty scary, honestly, but I don't want to, like, let fear freeze me and deny me opportunities that'll make me happy. When there is a path forward. It might be longer if, you know, but I'd rather think about the long term rather than the short term. It might be possible to get more work if I was a little bit less picky. But I have to be a little bit more picky if I want to keep myself safe. Because it's more important to me that I stay safe rather than make a few extra bucks. Because I'm thinking long term. And I don't know, I think it'll be just fine. Especially nowadays, there's a lot more control over what you can do for work. Especially with OnlyFans. And especially if you're still willing to do, I mean, I want to do hardcore. So that gives me a lot more opportunities. Not everybody wants to do hardcore, and they shouldn't be expected to if they don't want to. But I do. I really want to do hardcore. And so that gives me a lot more employment opportunities, honestly. But I don't know how to find those opportunities. That's the thing. But once I'm established, that becomes less and less of a problem. Because especially once I get representation somehow. Like if I had somebody who was able to advocate for me and get me the kind of work that I wanted, then I would be a lot more successful. But I can't have that without reaching out to go get it. I need somebody to represent me. I need somebody to actually advocate for me. Someone who knows how to do that. Someone who knows how to find work for me in the industry. But you have to actually, like, work your way up towards that first. Yeah, I'm 35. And you know, some women in the industry are like in their 80s. And yeah, there's going to be a lot more competition after my surgery. Which is just a reality, but that's the reality for like women everywhere. So it's like, how is that any different than any other woman out there? Obviously, if I didn't have genital dysphoria, then I would have less competition, really. But that's not what my medical decision is made based on. It's not made based on career goals. That would be fucking stupid. I don't know. Like, I don't want to decide things based on hypotheticals. Because in the end of the day, if I'm successful, it doesn't matter what my situation is. It doesn't matter what, the goal is to be successful in my goals. And if I can make that happen, the specifics don't matter. All these like, oh, because you're going to be post-op, you're not going to be as successful. That's not going to matter if I'm successful anyway. Like, I just do it until it works. And then once it works, it doesn't matter. Because I will have achieved my goals. And I don't know, maybe I'm gonna be really fucking successful. I don't fucking know. And I'd like to continue to be successful for as long as I can. As long as I have breath in my lungs. I really don't plan on stopping once I get there. To wherever there, there is no there. It's just I want to do it. Because I believe it can make me really happy. And it could also make me it can also be very lucrative. Which will make me very happy. Because money, I don't really fucking care what people say. Money does buy happiness. Because I am absolutely miserable with no financial freedom. I can't do anything with my friends. I can't travel. I can't play chess. So without money, I can't be happy. So I'm sick and tired of people claiming that money doesn't buy happiness, because it absolutely fucking does. Fuck. But I don't know. I'm not worried about that, because once I get established, it won't matter anymore. So I'm just going to focus on doing whatever I possibly can to get established safely for longevity. Because I might be able to get established faster if I was riskier. If I took more risks. But at what cost? Especially since I'm getting a very, 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 very important surgery, and for quite a while, at the very least, at least 3 months, I won't be able to even use my vagina sexually. And then probably longer than that for work. Maybe even like a really long time, like a year even. But I don't really care about that, because I'm going to be pursuing my goals in a very gradual way. And it's going to start by just, doing things solo, because I'll have more control. Because I'll be able to control if things are uncomfortable. I'll be the one in charge. And if I find the right work later on, as long as I find people who are going to be very very gentle around being very professional surrounding the professional treatment of my goods, people who aren't going to hurt me, then which should be like legally I believe is like legally required, that they can't like force you against your will. And if they don't, they should be investigated and like shut down, because that is literally a crime. But yeah, that's how I think things through. Some people might think I'm crazy, some people might think I'm unrealistic, but I don't fucking care. Because I'm so sick and tired of people dictating their lives based on what other people think is true or not. Just because we had like an international master looking at the game for a second. Like I said, like I am, or that was their username. Oops, I blundered away at pawn. So, I mean, I don't really care about what people think is possible or not, because anybody I know who's made things... I mean, I haven't known anybody who's achieved any kind of success in life outside of, like, they've been grinding for their entire life for a very minimum salary, and they've been miserable their entire lives, basically. They might, or they started a family, which is a different kind of thing. But as far as like financial success, everybody I've known said, "Oh, you can't chase your dreams." That's because they didn't do anything about what they really wanted to do. So why should I listen to what they have to say? Because they didn't achieve it. And obviously, people who have achieved success are going to be like really, really brutal about their advice as well. So why should I listen to them? They don't want any competition. So why should I care what anybody thinks? The people who are going to be critical of me either want me to fail or they don't know what they're talking about. Why should I listen to somebody who's never earned more than $50,000 a year about how to be successful? If I did what they did, at best I would make $50,000 a year. At best. And I can't even pursue what they're doing because I just can't seem to make that kind of stuff happen. I'm not, I have different abilities. I am autistic and I have very specific social disabilities. So I'm going to pursue the adult industry because that's something that I would love doing, and it's something that I can do. It's something that I'm talented at. It's something that would bring me a lot of happiness. And it can be very lucrative. So it makes sense that I would pursue that instead of some office job where I have to play some political game that is almost impossible for me to achieve as like a socially blind autistic person. That doesn't make any sense. That would be insanity. That would actually be a failing plan. Which is why I haven't done that. It's not that I don't want it, because I would like to be able to do the things that other people can do. Oh, if the bishop took, it would have been better for white, I think. And people who are successful, I don't know necessarily if they want me to fail, but why would they want more competition? And also, if somebody's being critical of me, I can take that as a compliment, because that means they don't want me to succeed, which means that I'm probably going to succeed. So far, I haven't been critical. I haven't had anybody who's been critical of my not to say that that's one-to-one, but I haven't had anybody critical of my adult industry career goals. I don't think that it's impossible for me. Like Like, I literally made a few $1,000s out of thin air. I mean, I worked for it, but it wasn't out of thin air. But like I clearly have potential, and I just need the opportunity, and I have to make those opportunities happen. Otherwise, they won't happen. Nobody's gonna make it happen for me. But I'm really scared because it's the same problem I have with the corporate world, where I have to play the social political game of trying to figure out how to get opportunities to happen, because I don't really know how to do that. I know what I want, but I don't necessarily know how to make it happen. Yeah, I played really badly. I could make excuses like it was only 3+2, or that my opponent's higher rated, but that's a bad excuse. I played very badly. So in this game... Oh, I was playing white. Oops. Yeah, I got chased around. I don't necessarily think it was too bad. I probably should have just... Oh no, the knight's hanging. Oh, no. Yeah, because that allows check. I actually don't think I was playing... Oh yeah, that was a mistake. Maybe I could have gone here. I think maybe... Maybe just develop... Maybe I should take it with a knight. And that prevents the knight from coming out. Yeah, I mean, like, it's really hard to tell this with this quick of a time control, honestly. I probably could have done better, but, you know, it's like we're just playing for fun. I do think that even if you play Blitz or Bullet, as long as you're doing what I'm doing right now, looking at the games afterwards, I don't think it's a problem. People say don't play Blitz, but I really what they mean is don't just keep playing game after game after game without looking at them. Yeah, I think the problem is I have to try to defend the bishop and the knight at the same time. So I think bringing the bishop out there was a problem. I should have moved the king here first, and then maybe try to get the knight away and then get the rook. Or maybe just bring the bishop over here. So I could have just brought the bishop over here first, if takes. And then, you know, the rook's tied up. I do want to avoid the knight from coming in. So maybe I, you know, push h3, not h6. Push h3, you know, just to prevent any kind of knight tomfoolery. Knight could come in this way. I might be able to double up the rooks at this point, which keeps the knight and the rook tied down. After castling, though, that's... And come over to the 7th rank. Yeah, I think the mistake was bringing the bishop here next, because then I have to defend both of these, and there's bishops on the board. So there's lots of things that can go wrong there. And as you see, I mean, I defended the bishop, but I think maybe I should have I don't know, something like that. Yeah, the reveal check. Because otherwise I was threatening to take the knight, but because the... Yeah, I needed to move the king off the diagonal as soon as possible. In fact, putting the king there to begin with was just a kind of a fool's errand. You finished with those errands? Finished with those errands? Oh, you had a over the board for you became you got your norm for one of your norms for candidate master? Yeah, see, I want to make stuff like that happen as well, and that's the same. See, it's the same exact problem I have. How do I make these opportunities? That's the question I need to answer. That's the biggest problem in my life, actually. My biggest problem is, how do I make opportunities arise? For example, how do I get auditions for adult industry? How do I access chess tournaments? How do I you know, how do I, you know, there's some other things I need to work on that require some other things to happen. Like, these all require other things to happen. Like, how do I query an agent for my novels, nonfiction? But I need to actually, finish a manuscript for that, though. You know, there's things like that. Like, how do I make opportunities happen? I don't really know. I know what I can control. You know, for example, like, I can do camming is 100% in my control. OnlyFans is 100% in my control. These are things I can do. I can play online leagues, like 45 plus 45, 90 plus 30, 120 plus 5. By joining online club, by joining the clubs. chess.com. You know, I can at least play classical games without having to pay it at real tournaments. You know, these are things I can do in my control. And this is in my control too. Like, I need to actually write. You know, like, I have to actually do these things. But, you know, like, once I do those things, I don't really know what to do with it. Yeah, but I would need to make videos that are worthy of like, of being accepted, which I don't have a good studio. I just have my room. It's not very good quality. It's good enough quality for my viewers, but like to get like an audition, like I need to be like higher quality. They're not always honest, but if you're in a league, they can get disqualified from a league if they're cheating. And honestly, it doesn't matter if they're honest or not, because I'm still playing and improving at chess, right? So even though people might be cheating, it doesn't matter, because I can still improve from the games. Because that's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to be a better chess player. So that when I go to actual over-the-board chess tournaments, it's much less likely for people to be cheating. People still can cheat, but it's much less likely for someone to cheat in person, especially in a classical game where there's a lot of scrutiny, more and more. You know, especially with the advent of potential vibrating devices. Are you into programming? Yeah, it's been kind of a casual hobby of mine for like my entire adult life. Well, even my teenage life. Like since I was like 12 or 13, I got into programming. Yeah, so like this doesn't bother me. I know a lot of people are worried about playing classical online, because they're saying, oh, well, what's to stop people from cheating? If they're cheating, then that means that you have a stronger opponent, which means that you have more opportunities to learn from your games, because you're going to be punished more. So you're going to be training harder. So if people are cheating, that just means that you're training harder, which is good, because when you do play honest games, you're going to be better. And the people who are dishonest get found out. If you cheat, you're gonna get caught eventually. And then also on like Lichess and chess.com, if somebody's banned for cheating, you get the rating points refunded. So it honestly doesn't really matter as far as your rating goes. And you shouldn't be caring about your rating. What do you care about an online rating? What do you even care about a FIDE rating? What do you care? Your rating doesn't mean anything if you're not good at chess. If you're not good at chess, your rating's gonna be just meaningless. In fact, rating is just an imaginary number based on your performance against a pairing pool. If you win your games, your rating goes up. If you lose your games, your rating goes down. Like, I don't know why people are so attached to numbers. They should be attached, like, you should be playing chess to get better at chess. And so even if you're playing against cheaters, you're still training. And if you're playing for money, then yeah, there needs to be regulation, and there is. So the only ones that actually matter as far as cheating goes are the ones that you're playing for money. And if you're playing for money and someone's cheating, there's much more at stake. There's much bigger consequences than for cheating on an anonymous username online. Somebody cheating on an anonymous username online, if they get caught, you get refunded your points. But they're still just online points in a rating system that doesn't matter. And FIDE, it only matters in as much as your ability to compete against those similarly rated opponents. So if you're lower rated, you can only play like up a section. But if you get higher rating, you can play higher sections. So that's your reason for trying to get a higher rating, is so that you can play stronger opponents. Your goal should be to play the strongest players, because they're the ones who are going to punish you the most which those are the people who are going to help you improve the most. The people who don't punish you, it's gonna, I mean, you're still gonna learn because you can go back in the game and look at where they went wrong and look at where you could have done better. And as long as you do that every single game, especially your classical games, well, actually, especially your fast games, as well. Like, if you do this with every game, if you look at every single game and see where each side could have played better throughout the entire game in the best of your ability, especially with a coach. But I don't have a coach. See, it's like, I can't afford a coach. I can't afford to travel or participate in chess tournaments in the Bay Area. As they're all either in San Francisco, Berkeley, or Sacramento, Oakland, Sacramento, Cupertino. That's where all the tournaments are in the Bay Area. And those are all like at least like an hour and a half drive. If not longer, depending on traffic. Plus, they are usually $50, like $50 to $70 entry fees without a guarantee of prize money. Also, I am also a new member to USCF. So I need 20 games to even be eligible for full prize payouts. There's all these things stacked up against me, and it's really fucked up. Yeah, I have a car, but I have to get it smogged. It hasn't been registered for a very long time, like 2 years, because I couldn't pass smog, and now I can pass smog, but I can't afford it. I only get $520 a month from SSI. And I have to pay $200 a month to get my electrolysis for my surgery. And I only need to do this once. So I need to get it, it needs to happen. So there's a lot of things right now that are really pissing me off. That I would like to be able to pass the time in the months coming up to my surgery to like go and play chess games, but I can't afford it. It's really frustrating. Can't work because of dysphoria around my genitals. But surgery is in a few months. It will require at least 3 to 4 months of physical recovery before I can return to work. And it will require at least a few months of personal spiritual time, spiritual healing. Oops. And that goes for same with OnlyFans, obviously. This one is requires name recognition, X, Pornhub, etc. Only about 300 followers. My adult, my Is my business account. Only 1,000 followers on my personal X account. Yeah, so like OnlyFans requires name recognition, which is what camming's for. Because I average about 100 to 200 viewers on my cam. I had 600 concurrents for a few shows. And I have at least I've made $1,000 from a single viewer as well. And if I get 10 of those people a month, that's $10,000 a month. But you know, I can't expect every single viewer. I can't even expect that same viewer to have a lifetime payment. But you know, it's the goal is having, you know, rolling the dice more. You roll the dice enough and you get enough people, and it just kind of works out. Because even if a follower has a lifetime value of $20, you get 100 of those people. And that's $2,000. And that just continually refreshes. So if you get 100 people a month who have a lifetime value of $20, and you get you get new people every month, and you scale that, then that works out. But that's just on one website, so it doesn't even matter. What are you reading? Life goal planning. But hey, what's up, Rave? How you doing? You've been here before? Did you change your name? You've been following since 2019. September 18th. You've been here since I started transitioning. That's crazy. These are my life goals. Why would they be someone else's? You stream Boom Beach? Suck my dick. What'd you say? Suck my dick, Spira? What did you say? Suck my dick, Spira? You're on Twitch very inclusively. That's happened. You didn't expect me to share my goals publicly? Well, you've been following me since 2019 and you still don't know that I share my goals publicly? Oh, Spiro is a friend. You've been following since 2019 and you don't know that about me? Really? You don't know that I'm very public about about my life. That's like my brand. Oh yeah, okay. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, I don't expect anyone to be here all the time. In fact, I don't even expect myself to be here all the time. Am I even here right now? I don't know. Am I an AI? Did I just hire somebody to create an AI for me and then just take over all my accounts while I actually go pursue all these things? Am I even here right now? Oh yeah, that's same for my writing. Yeah, it's like I'm writing now. I am developing a daily writing habit by setting clear goals before I start a writing session. That's outlining topics and desired and themes with a specific question to answer. Right now I'm writing mostly personal things like journaling and therapy related things. Specific, but I'm using the same kind of methods that I would use for my that I use for my fictional writing. I am thinking about my fiction projects in a long-term mindset. And I don't outline those publicly because they're private. I don't talk about a lot of the stuff I do for therapy in public either. I do talk a lot about, there's things in therapy that I obviously only belong in therapy. I am very open about things I talk about on stream, but it's still a stream. It's still a public place. It's not the same kind of stuff I can do in therapy. There's work that you need to do in therapy that is rightfully private. And that's the nature of it. It's you have to have something where you are private in order to work on certain things. But there's also things that you can only work on publicly that you actually are. It's better to work on publicly. That it gives you a certain power when you take away the fear. The fear of being judged, the fear of being ridiculed, etc. When you take away that fear, you realize that there's a lot of things you can share publicly. You don't have to keep things private. There's only certain, and then it gives you more quality in what you choose to keep private. Because when you're public about most things, then you know exactly what needs to be private. And it gives you a lot more strength, I think. A lot of this is just kind of daily goals. I have a writing bag. I write by hand most of the time, but I also email myself. I have multiple ways of writing. I have a typewriter as well. I have a bunch of ways that I input my writing on a daily basis. I also kind of write on Discord, like on Healthy Gamer, etc. That's more for venting purposes, which I don't think venting is particularly useful. But it is useful in the sense that it gets a lot of stuff out that I probably wouldn't get out. Because I can write privately, but I kind of need, sometimes I need, if it's not therapy, if it's not private, so private I need to save it for therapy, then I need somebody to be able to read what I'm writing, to make sure that I don't get stuck in thought loops. Because what happens when I write things when I'm really frustrated, especially if I keep journaling, I'll go in circles, which is why it's become even more important for me to create outlines with clear goals and questions. Because if I don't try to answer those questions, I just go in circles. I'm literally going in circles right now explaining it. And that's kind of where the issue is I do have some nonfiction projects. What are some of my projects? So I have 3 novels in plan, 1 active. So active, even star, inactive, or I guess passive. Scourge and inner defense. And I have 2 nonfiction plans. I have a memoir of my transition. That is a big goal. That's a long-term goal. Long-term goal. Most likely won't actively work on the manuscript until after my surgery recovery. Will document my transition from early age until through the surgery. That's a big one. That's on hold for a while. Like I said, I'm waiting until after my surgery before I pursue stuff like that. And OnlyFans is an afterthought. That's I have to start with camming again first. And then I also have to pursue industry work because I want to do porn. So I can't really do that right now because I am literally like a few months away from surgery that's going to change my genitals. So that's like a huge deal because I probably won't be able to work for at least a year. At least in the industry. Camming, maybe I can work like 4 months after surgery. But that also requires spiritual work. So, you know, there's a lot of factors there that aren't anything that I can rush. So that's depending on a few things. There's plenty of post-op trans people who do porn. You might not even know about them being trans. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. The only thing that matters is if you have an audience. And also, if you replace this with the word like black or something, are there any post-op blacks who do porn? Like, don't say post-op. Like, it's kind of disgusting when people refer to trans people as like transers or trans, like, oh, you know, I don't know any trans. Like, no, you don't know any trans people because we're people. It's an adjective. You're saying something without an adjective. It's grammatically incorrect. It's an adjective. You're offending my grammar. I want you to stop offending my grammar. Like trans people, trans women. It's like when people say, oh, those transgenders. Like, oh, come on, man. Like, really? I'm a human being. Yeah, well, it's also offensive as far as like transphobia goes. Although, you know, I also, you know, there has been a change in the porn industry, but there's still a lot of videos out there that say actual slurs, and if you think about it, if you replace that with like the N-word, how like degrading that is. Some trans people are okay with it, though. In fact, I think, you know, there is a divisive kind of chasm within the... I mean, obviously, I can't speak for everyone, but there are people who literally refer to themselves as slurs. And I don't like it. But, you know, you have to be the change. And obviously a lot of the studios are starting to, you know, they say, you know, the titles of the porn videos and the studios, it'll say like transgender woman. It won't say like the slur. But either way, I'm going to be post-op, so that's a completely different marketing strategy. Well, there's a couple slurs and you're playing dumb. There's a couple different slurs. But I'm going to change the topic. It's a completely different marketing strategy for post-op women. Because I personally believe that I will not even be considered trans as far as like marketing goes. So I basically have to compete as if I wasn't trans, effectively. Yeah, I don't like slurs at all. I think they're very ugly. I don't think there's a place for any of them. They have historical value only in the sense that it portrays historical context. And historically, the slurs against trans women have been used, especially in the sex industry, and it's the sex and the porn, you know, the sex worker industry, and the porn industry has historically been used to demean trans women as purely sexual objects who exist to please men's fantasies. Which obviously, you know, that's why we get into porn, is to please the fantasies. But when it's like used in a demeaning and dehumanizing way, that way, it's like it normalizes people treating us like we're not people. And that's how it's been used. It's very different. I mean, that's how it's been used against everybody in the porn industry, honestly. You know, that's kind of a different problem. It's not just about trans people, but the industry is changing. Like, it's changing a lot, especially with the advent of OnlyFans. People are more in control of their content now, and because of that, studios have to kind of adapt, because now they're competing with these platforms, and they're probably going to use those platforms as well. And so people are going to stand up for themselves more. So they have to adapt. And that's really what matters, is the market decides. And if the market is under people's control. So it's up to the people to stand up for themselves and make the market a reality. But for example, like the hard R N-word is used historically to demean black people and to further divide society into classes. And so it's only used in historical context to depict that severity. Because when we hear it is not just a word. It activates a whole bunch of raw emotions. because of the historical context. So the reason why we don't use those words is not just to like walk on eggshells around people. I don't know why people constantly use that argument, like, oh, it's just a word, you know, just get over it. It's not because of that. It's because it perpetuates a normalization of something that is wrong, which is the dehumanization of an entire demographic of people, whatever that demographic is. Especially in a sexual context, where trans women especially have really only been able to make waves in professional industries involving sex work. It's like the only real place where it's been acceptable, quote unquote, to be trans is in a sexual context. And then we're seen as like a fetish. Like it's some kind of weird taboo thing where somebody might be really attracted to trans feminine bodies in private, but as soon as you go out in public, these people are very transphobic. They don't really accept you. And you'll know who really accepts you because I have viewers. I don't usually talk about it on camming, but you know, because I usually don't talk about, I usually am professional, so it's like I usually only kind of do what I'm supposed to be doing. But any of my long-term viewers and moderators, they aren't bothered by the fact that I'm going to be post-op. But my casual viewers would get upset, and they have. This is why I don't talk about it during my shows. It's more of a like Twitch stream kind of discussion. My short-term viewers won't care about me anymore once I get my surgery, because they're looking for women with penises, because that's what they're attracted to. But they're not attracted to women with vulvas. So I'm going to have a completely new casual market after my surgery, which is fine. It does mean that my competition pool is both smaller and bigger, because I feel like I'm passing enough to be seen as functionally female. I mean, I am female, but like as far as in the industry, usually they put a whole trans category in porn websites. And so since there is a trans category, that I know there's like a whole bunch of different transgender bodies, and the trans category has actually started to include trans masculine bodies. But let's be real, in very real ways, the vast majority of people who click on the trans category on Pornhub are looking for women with penises. They are not looking for trans men. They are not looking for trans women who've had surgery. They're looking for women with penises. Period. So the algorithms are kind of changing now, because now I think it's going to not really matter so much that my body type is trans feminine, and I will find my audience. It's going to be people who are attracted to trans feminine bodies with vulvas. That's a very specific niche, because people are attracted to trans feminine people. And it's not necessarily because of the genitals. It's because they might have, for whatever reason. There's infinite reasons. It's impossible to list them all. And it doesn't even matter. The only thing that matters is that there is an audience. That's what matters. I have other ones are social justice issues, economic disparity, transphobic issues, transphobia in United States. Disability. Just transphobia. Autism. And then there's just like social commentary. Tech science. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of things that I want to write about. I think the big one that's gonna be like, the big one that I'm gonna work on is gonna be my memoir. I have a lot to write about. There's a lot of things that I can't write about because it involves other people, but there are things that I can write about, and that's gonna be the majority of the work is outlining the memoir in a way that doesn't involve people who don't want to be involved, because a lot of it is very personal to my life, but I don't have to include specific events for that to happen. So that's going to be the majority of the work for the memoir. I think this is very useful. I think this is very useful because it documents a meaningful experience that others have, others go through and might help them through it, or help them feel less alone, as well as educate others on the realities of being a transgender woman undergoing medical transition. So I think this is going to be my big nonfiction my first big nonfiction project. These are usually like kind of blog posts, articles for like my blog. Even Star is my big novel. This is basically like my Mistborn. This is my Wheel of Time. This is my Game of Thrones. This is my Lord of the Rings. And Scourge and Inner Defense exist on the same universe and the same planet, actually. Hey Sam J, how you doing? Yes, I'm a huge fan of Brandon Sanderson, actually. Even Star, I can't, basically it's about a woman who found out she can't die, or she's basically, you can't, it's like an immortality similar to Wolverine. Like she can't be damaged. But like the theme of the novel is that you don't have to physically be damaged to be in pain. That's the theme of the novel. Rankdal? What's Rankdal? Daily guest of the rank? What? Okay, oh, this is kind of interesting. Okay. Am I trying to guess the rank of the winner? Let's say 2,300. Oh, wow. Oh, the average elo of the game. Um, 1,100. All right. Okay. End game. How they play the end game is gonna determine it. Yeah. 1,700. Oh. Oh, oops. But I can guess the rank in league. Okay, there's no way this person is anything less than diamond. Oh, it's platinum. It's probably silver. Oh, it's iron. That's close. Okay, this looks like Challenger. They're just playing very close and methodical. Very careful. Very specific place. This has to be Challenger. Oh, it's Master. Yikes. Okay. That's enough of that. But yeah, Even Star is basically... The theme of the novel is internal suffering and friction in between, like how we think about ourselves and how we think about the things that we do. Because totally Even Star is an immortal woman who's basically, she's kind of like me, or how I see myself. I haven't read any Sanderson books. I remember the Kickstarter, he became like the number one, the most successful Kickstarter of like all time or something like that. He set the record for the fastest growth of a Kickstarter in the first week or whatever. Something like that. I haven't read any. I'm waiting until I finish the current book I'm reading. I'm almost done with the book series, and then I'm gonna start reading The Way of Kings. I have it on my shelf right here. I've already read like the first 7 or 8 chapters of Way of Kings, but I'm gonna actually start the Stormlight Archive after I finish my the current reading. I don't want to say it so that people don't spoil it. In fact, I'm probably going to get off stream to go read it. But basically, Even Star is about, yeah, I also don't want to, I don't want any, obviously people might spoil things at all times, but, I've read Mistborn series, the Wax, both of the series, the Wax and Wayne one as well. I've read his first debut novel, Elantris. I read like maybe like a quarter of Warbreaker. Warbreaker's the one with the colors, right? Or with the sentient sword. Yeah, I have Warbreaker. I need to find it, but I have it, and I want to read that before it's a standalone, right? I guess they're all Cosmere, but apparently it's related to Stormlight at some point. Somebody mentioned, but I do want to read that before I start Stormlight. Yeah, it has the sentient sword in it. Yeah, and I also want to check out his Kickstarter books, but I'm not really into that right now. I think everything he writes is good. Honestly, I read the one about superheroes. What was it? Firestarter? No, like it was Steelheart. What was it called? Yeah, the Steelheart, the Reckoners. I thought that was really good. I thought that was a really good series. Wait, there's more Reckoners? I read Calamity. There's a 5th book? Oh, there's an audiobook called Lux. Texas Reckoners. Oh, there's an... Okay, so there is a novel. It came out in 2021. Okay. Oh, it's an Audible original. I have some Audible credits. Yeah, honestly, I really like his books. I think what makes his books special is his yeah, the Wheel of Time I'm working on. Yeah, I think yeah, like you're right. Like his magic rules are what everyone talks about, and he does talk about his in his lectures. I've watched like his BYU class like multiple times. But what I really like about Sanderson, I think what actually makes him set apart as an author, is not his magic system. It's about how he creates sense of community building in his novels. Like in Mistborn, like how they all like gathered together with you know, like and the Reckoners, like the forming the communities of like resistance, like his ability to showcase like how people actually work together and like how people rally behind causes is very unique that I haven't seen too many authors really pull off. His magic systems also like really kind of put that together as well. But for example, like Elantris, like in Elantris, like when, you know, the whole like putting stuff together in that sense. I don't like spoilers, so I don't like giving spoilers. So it's like, you know, if you haven't read Elantris, I really feel like what makes it special is the sense of like, it's not really the actual like situation that's happening in the book. What makes it special is what happens with the person who's in the situation, and how that and how he like, or yeah, I already forgot. Like, it was the character a man or a woman? I think it was wait, what? Oh. Yeah, Raoden. But yeah, there was Serene. Yeah, that was the female character. I don't know. Either way, I don't really like talking about books too much, because I just think there's like, I don't like talking about like books and movies and stuff too much on stream, because I have a tendency to talk too much about them, in the sense that I don't want to ruin it for people. I also don't want to invite that energy, because I don't know. I just I think it's a really good place for a podcast. I don't really think it's a good place for a live stream. I don't think doing a live stream where you're talking about very specifics about a novel or a story is really particularly the place, because you don't like the audience. You don't really have as much control over who the target audience is in a live stream, because people who can come in who might not know what you're talking about. But that's just bad in general. But also, if you're making a podcast, you can clearly mark that you expect that that there's going to be spoilers. So the target audience are either people who don't care about spoilers or people who've already read it. So it's like that's a place for like more of a podcast. And I do have some podcast projects in the future, but I got to finish some books. Yeah, Evenstar basically it's an immortal and elemental magic. It's like an immortal and there's also elemental magic aspect. And it's also mainly, the plot line is mainly, at this current stage in the manuscript, the story might change yet again, but right now, the story is of a drug cartel, mainly. And the drug cartel is mainly involved with, the main antagonist is actually the ghost-like sister of Tully Evenstar, named Kara. So it's like, it's really kind of a unique storyline. You're gonna have to wait till I publish it to find out about it. And it's still in. I've only written one draft, the first draft. So yeah, I mean, like a lot of this stuff is just stuff I gotta work on. I can't pursue my adult industry work for quite a while, so that's on hold. That's on hold until after I deal with the dysphoria, which is going to take at least 3 to 4 months of physical recovery, and however long the spiritual healing has to happen. Probably longer than 3 to 4 months of physical recovery. Honestly, might take 6 months, or more. Chess tournaments requires some financial success, which requires this. So I unfortunately can't really access chess tournaments until I can achieve financial success, which really fucking sucks. Now, writing I can do right now, which is what I am doing, which is why I'm getting into daily writing habits. And mainly, not just sitting down to write, because I've done that a lot, where I just sit down to write. What I'm really practicing doing is writing outlines before I actually start writing. Even when I'm writing outlines for my therapy journals. Because especially in therapy, I have very specific things I'm working on. So I need to actually have questions that I'm responding to. And I'm coming up with those questions with my therapist as well. So there's a lot of stuff that I'm writing about that are very specific. And I think more specific is the answer. The more specific, the better. And I can carry that over to all my projects, not just my personal therapy project. And I can't get any of them done if I don't do the work of therapy. Like, I need to do my homework, basically. And if I don't do that, none of this matters. None of this matters at all. If I can't do the work in therapy. Because I won't be able to transfer those skills unless I have the therapy stuff out of the way. And by doing the therapy, I'm actually practicing the skills that I need for this, which is outlining things and answering specific questions. Yeah, let's put that away for now. Let's get back to some puzzles. I basically need to slow down my thought process and actually like kind of work through things in my chess games more completely. Even when it's a simple puzzle. Because my biggest reason why I keep losing games is because I play too quickly. So I need to like do things like, okay, so where are all my checks? Like those are good questions to answer. These are all my checks. Now this one's defended by the queen. This one's defended by the king. So is this one. So out of all those two, both of these moves fork the knight and the king. But this one removes the defender, allowing me to capture the knight. Okay, knight's defended by 2 pieces. Attacked by 3 pieces. So if I take here, I'm X-raying into the rook. I mean, it's pinned to the rook, not X-ray. The queen is X-raying. So the bishop captures, rook captures, and then with tempo, I'm attacking the rook. Rook has to move. And I win a piece. Yeah, I'm gonna get going. I'm getting a bit, we've been going for 3 hours. Thanks everybody for stopping by. I'm getting a lot of stuff done. You know, I have a good head on my shoulders. I have really achievable goals. I am doing the work to do those goals, to achieve those goals. And I think the biggest reason why I feel terrified is because it just doesn't seem like things are working out the way I want them to at the moment. But I know that I need to trust the process and that I've already achieved amazing success in my goals. And as long as I keep doing that, I'm going to get myself to where I need to be. Anyway, bye-bye.